Well, hello everyone. You have right here talk about for the Christmas, Eve, and let's say for Christmas, a baby Jesus right here. The baby born Jesus Christ right here in the manger right here. But you see this right here that I painted right here, the details right here of Mary and Joseph right here, along with baby Jesus right here. And I know most moms would even say too that, that whenever they look at their baby boy or their baby girl and always thinking this toward, yeah, I can remember whenever you were this tiny. And so it's like, yeah, so it's like, so whenever most moms and dads are going to be looking at the baby photos a lot of times, it sure seems that way that the way I painted this, I have right here is a star, and then I got the moon right there. But it sure seems that way that when we do look at the baby pictures, a lot of times that the mom is maybe going to say something like, "I can still remember when we brought you home that night, that afternoon, and I can still remember that you were." I think your most mature babies are probably about how much they weigh, but still that in general that let's just say that most of them do weigh about 6 pounds and 18 ounces, something like that, 6 pounds and 22 ounces or something like that. But it's like that whenever moms do think about their babies a lot of times, and you're warned to where that that I can remember whenever you were just a baby, and everybody thinking too that most moms are going to say that to where that I can remember whenever you were just a baby and holding you in my arms and all that. But it's like, yeah, a lot of moms, by the way, would think that whenever you're going to be holding your child by the arms and thinking that yeah, they grow up so fast, don't they? And so it's like, yeah, you look at the baby photo right here, and you're warned to where that whenever it comes to looking at the moments with the mom and the child right here, and you're thinking that for any reason at all that whenever it comes to baby and the manger right here, and you're thinking that okay, yeah, that you have right here the mom and the child right here, but it's like really that the do can moms really explain over the fact that when they look at their babies right here at the baby photos at the baby pictures and want to know that yeah, how does it go from being a little baby and then by the time they grow up, and a lot of parents would say that can you really explain over the fact that that by the time the babies grow up, and want to know too that a lot of moms might even say that that you've had less time in that baby crib. You've had less time in that, like, yeah, whenever you were a little teeny tiny little baby, it seems like that you grew up, much faster than compared to whenever you were a teenager, and of course, before you became a full grown adult. And so, like, everybody might say that, yeah, you look at the baby picture right here, and a lot of moms would say that you're holding the baby in the arms and knowing about by the time they grow up and all that, and you're thinking that yeah, the mom still remembers that moment whenever the kid was just a baby, whenever the kid was just a toddler, and knowing that she's going to go ahead and keep a photo or a memoir or something like that, in her photo collection about what you look like, her best memories from whenever you were a baby a lot of times. But still that how many moms might even say that I can still remember whenever you were sick, that knowing about yeah. So it's like so it sure seems that way that do most parents, do most moms may think that if you're going to be taking care of your babies whenever, I'm like, yeah, whenever they're toddlers, but whenever it comes to taking care of them while they're sick, and maybe taking care of them whenever they or just whenever they're babies. And so that's why it seems like that yeah, that the mom is going to remind you of that there was a star right here, that night whenever you were born, and yeah, you talk about for the baby book, right? And but you see right here, you got the moon right there, but it's like yeah, so it's like you're thinking that yeah, that you have right here is a baby born Jesus Christ right here in the manger right here. And I was just thinking that if you want to go ahead and paint a little bit more for baby Jesus right here, but it's like yeah. So whenever you do think about that, and like most moms would even say that I can remember whenever you were just a little baby, and dressing you up, and of course, getting you, feeding you, and plus, getting you ready. I'm like when we were taking care of something, and so yeah, so it's like do most moms keep a lot of these memories, and like everybody might say, that even if it's a greeting card, that maybe something that maybe the baby is not going to understand. Yeah, they're not really going to understand the whole story to why mom still remembers that, why mom still has that, and if it's a baby picture, or if it's a certain moment in time, but still that a lot of moms would ask is that how did you kids grow up so fast? Because I can remember whenever you were just a baby. You were just a baby, and that you were tiny, and we placed you in a crib in that night whenever you were born, right? And so, like a lot of moms might even say that, I can remember whenever you were this tiny, whenever you were just a baby, you were this tiny, and so yeah, so it's like I really don't know if any boys and girls might even want to know too that you know you look at your baby photos, by the way, and you're warned to where that mommy still remembers bringing you home at that night whenever you were born and all that, and so it's like yeah, so each time you do think about that, and you're warned to where you look at the baby photo right here, and you're thinking that that yeah, that you look at that baby photo, and you're thinking that mommy still remembers that, but for whatever reason she misses those times. She misses that time for whenever you were just a baby, and things that you didn't. I don't think that you would even understand that when we brought you home, that yeah, we would sing you songs, nursery rhymes, and then also anything about what mommy still misses about you whenever you were just a baby. Yeah, dressing you up, and of course, getting you ready for bed, reading you stories, and so yeah, so a lot of moms might even say that whenever you were a baby, of course, it was like yeah. So it's like when we do talk about our baby pictures, by the way, it sure seems that way. That why is it that most parents would still, miss those moments from whenever you were just a baby, compared to whenever you grow up, and then you become a teenager and all that, and like people might say, yeah, whenever you were just a baby, of course, you were this small, and this is how we dressed you up and all that, but still, do most parents miss the times whenever their children were just babies? And I want to know too that maybe every year on your birthday that they can maybe remind you of those baby outfits, those outfits that they bought you, and knowing that you already grew out of a couple of them, and so it's like yeah. So every time you do think about that, and you're warned to where that yeah that you were this tiny whenever you were in that crib and all that, and but still, it's like each time you think about that, and you'll want to know too that mommy still remembers whenever you were just a baby, you were this tiny, and want to know that yeah. Do most moms miss those days whenever you were just a baby? You were just a baby, and you were this tiny, and dressing you up, and then maybe feeding you, and of course dressing you up whenever you were this tiny, and then compared to whenever you grow up, and maybe that's one of the reasons why a lot of moms might say that they keep a lot of that treasure items for their collection, just because of the fact that do most moms miss those days from whenever a child grows up, and then maybe they might say that they didn't really have as much time, you know, uh, while you were a baby, and like everybody might say that whenever you were a baby, you were this tiny, and thinking that especially whenever you got sick, and especially whenever it comes to trying to fit something, or maybe trying to do something that you were trying to do, such as learn to walk, and so that's why it seems like that yeah, talk about for baby, baby pictures, right, baby moments, but still, I just really think in a lot of ways that most parents would say that yeah, that they miss the times for whenever their kids were just babies, just because that yeah, you can hold them in your arms, and most moms would probably say that, by the way, that I can, you whenever you were this tiny, that you were able to go, I remember holding you in my arms, and maybe most moms would say that they miss those moments, they miss those times whenever you were just whenever you were this tiny, and I can hold you in my arms, and so yeah, so it's like whenever we do think about whenever we do think about our kids, especially baby Jesus, and want to know that mom still remembers that. Mom still remembers those moments from whenever I was just a baby, and knowing that the things that she was talking about, which I don't really understand what she was talking about during the time, but still, that whenever you look at a baby picture, by the way, it sure seems that way. The first thing that you think about whenever mom's holding you in her arms, of course, is going to be that, yeah, that, the things that she misses. And I think one of those is about the lullabies, or you're reading you stories, singing you songs, you singing you to sleep a lot of times. And I think a lot of parents might say that that's one of the reasons why they miss holding you in their arms, so that way they can sing you stories, and then whenever you were sick, that yeah, for how they took care of you and everything, and so everybody might say that you know your mom may still miss those memories from whenever you were just a baby, and even though you may not really understand it all, and like everybody say that mommy and daddy for sure, that they're going to tell you that I can remember you were this you were this tall whenever you were born, the night when we brought you home, so yeah, you were this you were this tall, and yeah, holding you in their arms, and it sure seems that way that yeah, talk about for baby Jesus here, but still, when we look at a baby picture right here, that you're always want to know too that why is it that mommy keeps talking about that story from whenever you were born? Whenever you were born, I remember holding you in my arms. Yeah, whenever I was born, you remember holding me in your arms, and but a lot of that stuff that I'm sure that most babies, just won't understand just yet. They don't really understand the story to why mommy keeps talking about that, why mommy misses that. And so it's like, yeah, holding you in their arms, number one, and two, that knowing taking care of you and all that. But it's like, yeah, so it's like, so a lot of times, most moms would say that holding you by the arms, and then of course, whenever you had that cry, and of course, whenever you would be moving around in that crib, by the way, those were the cutest moments that I can still remember, having with my child, was that watching you move around in that crib, and dressing you up into those nice, cute looking clothes right there, and that's why it seems like mommy wants to talk about it all the time. And she's like, yeah, whenever you do think about your babies, by the way, that you're thinking that, yeah, that whenever you do think about your babies, by the way, that you're thinking that, yeah, I remember whenever you were this tiny, but still. everybody might say that, dressing you up and, of course, feeding you and then also singing you songs. And, how many moms would maybe miss those moments, by the way? They're going to say that, yeah, reading you a bedtime story. I really missed reading you bedtime stories just because, like, yeah, you'll go ahead and maybe draw a pacifier right there because I know a lot of babies would be wearing those, by the way. I think too the yeah pacifiers, but lullabies or something. But still, yeah, you usually see babies have those, but still. So it's like yeah. So if you have mommy right there, and she's gonna be holding her child just like that, and a lot of babies are maybe not going to understand that. So that's why it seems like that your mom is going to keep photos. She's going to keep photos in her, photos of your own baby pictures. She's going to keep your baby pictures in her, in her special album. And a lot of parents might say that, there's reasons why parents do that, by the way, is because it seems like, really that, you know, it seems like toddlers, yeah, they grow up so fast, but a lot of times it's like, do parents miss most of the time being able to hold their child in their arms and then have them in the crib, then compared to when they do grow up. And I'm like, yeah, you start getting them baths and all that. And so that's why it seems like that, that maybe like everybody might say that whenever you do think about Christmas time, you think about your children and you're thinking that that yeah, that I didn't really have as much time dressing you up whenever you were just this tall, whenever you were just a baby, and so that's why it seems like that night whenever you were born was the most special to me, just because, like everybody might say that whenever you were just a baby, that I can remember you were this you were this tiny, but that was one of the special moments that I can remember, and so a lot of parents might say that. They might say that they miss whenever you were just a baby, and even though that the toddlers are not going to really understand the whole story about that, and you want to know too that by the time they grow up and want to know that mommy and daddy, they still think about that, they still talk about that, they still have that Christmas ornament with your little picture of your first day of kindergarten, still up on the refrigerator. And so that's why it seems like that every time you do think about that, and you're always thinking that, what are they talking about? That was, you were just too young to be able to remember, by the way, but still. But whenever you do think about the picture of Jesus right here, and you're also thinking that, that yeah, that whenever it comes to Jesus in the manger right here, that you're 102, that you look at that picture right there and 102, that the last thing that you want to remember is that hey, that right there is supposed to be you right there. And the first question that maybe a lot of kids might ask is that, yeah, but why was I asleep? Why was I dressed like this? And yeah, and like any toddler might even say that, your parents took you to the circus. Your parents took you to the circus, the local circus in town, and then they had you dressed up in clown outfits or something like that, cute little outfits. And the first thing that maybe the son and daughter is going to be asking about is that really, yeah, you were too young to remember, but that's where we went during the time, and so mommy and daddy might keep a lot of these pictures, for memories, but they might tell you that, I honestly, we did not really have a whole lot of time really to enjoy those moments, dressing you up whenever you were just a baby, reading you stories, feeding you whenever you were just a baby. So it's like, so that's maybe why most parents are going to tell you this story about that, whenever you were just a baby, that, we miss those times. And so, yeah, most kids are maybe not going to understand that because most parents are going to probably remember that, very well. they're going to remember that, other than compared to what the child remembers. So it's like, yeah, so every time the parents do talk about that, and maybe they're going to say that, really that, I miss those times, and like, yeah, well, I don't even know what you're talking about because, yeah, you were too young really to remember, but I miss those times, putting you in that crib and putting you in the manger, and so every time you think about your baby picture, by the way, that you're thinking that. A lot of things for what was going on during the time, but almost every time you think about that, and people are maybe going to think that, if that is that right there supposed to be you right there in that picture right there, and that's why it seems like that. If they have you dressed in this cute little outfit, and want to know too that they have you dressed in this cute little outfit right here, and want to know that yeah, they make you an offering and all that, and so that's why it seems like that they have you dressed up all nice and in this cute little outfit right here, and the moms are going to maybe say that I remember dressing you up in that, and we can remember, those are precious memories, by the way. We can just remember dressing you up in that cute little outfit right there, and just knowing about what you look like when we were dressing you up. And it's like, yeah, what did I look like? You remind me just a little bit of that cartoon TV show, or that character in that cartoon children's book that we used to read by that famous author. And so it's like, yeah, dressing your child up, and of course, bathing your child, and like everybody might say that whenever you were just a baby, it seems like most parents would tell you that, I remember I miss the days whenever you were just a baby because, I was able to hold you in my arms, and I was able to sing you stories. I was able to sing you to sleep, and most babies would say that. Yeah, well, I don't even remember all that. And so, yeah, so a lot of parents would say that, yeah, mommy keeps talking about that, but, still, maybe our first Christmas, I can remember, singing to you, and watching you fall asleep. And so a lot of, parents would say that, those were my precious favorite moments. And maybe that's why that a lot of parents would say that that's why that they got pictures up on their walls, and that's why they keep talking about it. That's one of the reasons why that they say that they miss those times from whenever you were just a baby. And the kids are going to probably understand, I'm sure, at some point. But people might say that, mommy and daddy might even say that, I believe that we did not really have as much time, taking care of you whenever you were just a baby than compared to whenever you grow up. And so that's why that they say that, they want to have those made into ornaments. They want to have those memories made onto a picture frame. And, like everybody might say that, your baby picture, by the way, yeah. Do we really have to have it all over the house? For sure. We don't really need to have all those pictures shared up on your social media. Even inside your class photo or something like that. But really, how many moms and dads are going to say that whenever their babies grow up, that they want to keep a photo in their album. They also want to keep one on the refrigerator. They also want to keep one for memories from whenever you graduate. And so everybody might say that you goes by the story toward it, that whenever mommy and daddy still think about that picture right there, whenever you were just a baby right here, along with this picture with Jesus in the manger right here. The first time that we took you to that church service, by the way, say that, yeah, you were in a stroller during the time, and you weren't in that crib, but or in the manger, but we had you in the stroller during the time, and I'm like, yeah, we sang Christmas music and everything, but still, your mommy's still going to be talking about that. Your mommy's still going to be telling you that, I miss those days. That's one of the reasons why, every year on your birthday, maybe every year around Christmas time, that's why I keep telling you this story right here. That, even if it is, so many years later, that, yeah, I miss you. I miss taking care of you whenever you were just a baby. And do most moms say that, by the way? And they're like, say that, yeah, my little angel. And so maybe that's another reason why that parents are going to say that, even if their kids grow up, they might even think and believe that, I believe that I did not have as much time taking care of you whenever you were a baby, than compared to whenever you grow up. And by the time they're teenagers, and so that's why mommy keeps talking about that. And so maybe that's another reason why that mommy still has that ornament, why she still has a picture album of her special memories. And one of those is more likely going to include a memory of holding you in the arms. And like, yeah, everybody might say, if you want to go ahead and maybe paint a baby blanket, having you wrapping you up in a baby blanket. And so every time you think about that, and you're warned to where that you're a shepherd. And but still those precious memories and everything. And people might say that yeah, wrapping you up in that special blankie. And I miss those times. I miss those times where you in my arms and wrapping you up in that blankie. And so that's why it seems like that you keep talking about that story about whenever I was just a baby. And then wrapping you up in that special little blanket. And so it's like moms would say that that, yeah, that I remember I miss telling you stories and singing to you. And so maybe that's another reason why that mommy keeps talking about that you want to go ahead and have an ornament made. You want to have a special memory made just for mommy, for the kid and then for the mommy. And so everybody might say that whenever you look at a baby picture just like that, with the kid and then with the mom right there, and people might say that that means a lot to me whenever I'm able to look at my child just like that. That they're sleeping, right here in my arms, and that means a lot to me whenever I have one of those memories provided. If it's on a Christmas ornament, even if it's on a greeting card. That means a lot to me. And people might say that for any reason why it means so much to you. But people might say that kids grow up so fast, and that's one of the reasons why they say that you want to keep those memories precious. And a lot of moms would say that they're going to keep that on memory, because they might say that there's stuff that there are a lot of things that they cannot remember either about their children by the time they grow up, and then grow into teenagers. And one know too that your mom still wants to keep a lot of those memories, for her keepsake. And of course, whenever the kid grows up, and a lot of things that try to help him understand also. But still, in case if anybody's wondering to where that, yeah, if you have something like that on a greeting card, but you have right here the picture right here of the moon right here. Yeah, the moon. Supposed to be the moon, but anyway, if we can all see that right there. But still, the night whenever you were born, that you had the moon right here. And but the night whenever you were born, that if you can remember, what direction that the moon was facing. But still, so everybody might say that that night whenever you were born, that this is what the moon looked like right here, that it was shining. And was it shining from the north or the south? But still, that when we do talk about that, about the Jesus picture, by the way, and 102, you got the star right here, and you got the picture of the moon right here. And a lot of times, you're thinking that, if you can remember half the time, or if anything, that you don't really pay attention too much of the time. But really, what does all that mean? Whenever the moon's shining like that, and then whenever the stars shining like that, and keep track of whenever a child is born at 3 a.m. and maybe whenever a child is born at 8 a.m. But still, especially around Christmas time, right? And so that's why it seems like that whenever you do think about that and you're warned to word it, it means a lot to them, especially, and like a lot of things that maybe that not all children are going to understand, but that Christmas morning, and then they're going to look at that talk about the first church service that we took you to, and the first greeting cards, and the Jesus picture printed on a special outfit. And so people might say that, whenever you go to church service, and of course whenever you have Bible study. But I thought I'd go and talk to you about that, everybody. But anyway, thanks for watching, and have a great day.